Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Capacity Building Grant 2025 info session. My name is Steph Reyes. I'm Program Officer for the Arts and Creativity Program at the Community Foundation of Western Massachusetts. I'm a theater maker, performer, and arts administrator. A visual description, I'm a Latina woman in my early 30s wearing a black shirt and with a blurred background. And my pronouns are she, her, ella. And I'll pass it to my colleague to introduce herself. Nicole.
Morning, everyone. I'm Nicole Borden. I'm a senior program officer with the Community Foundation of Western Mass, working on ValleyCreates work, our arts and creativity grant making. I'm a middle-aged woman with black hair with white streaks, and I have a blurred background. And I will pass it to my friend and colleague, Brianna.
Hey everybody, my name is Brianna Halpin. I am a program manager with Assets for Artists, the partner with ValleyCreates on this program. And I'm the person that artists in this capacity building grant will be working most directly with. So I look forward to getting to know you. Let's see, I'm a white woman with big hair in my 40s, wearing a gray shirt. And my pronouns are she, her.
Thank you so much. Okay, so just for accessibility reasons to request any accommodation during any phase of your application process, please reach out to me. I'll put my email in the chat to request any accommodation. And we will dive in. So, perfect. So what are we going to cover today? We will briefly talk about the capacity building grant program, including the program timeline, who is eligible to apply, the selection criteria, what the application contains, and the time, and we will have time to answer any questions at the end. And I'll pass it to Brianna.
Okay, so what is a capacity building grant? So this particular program, it's a 6-month program, and the focus is on capacity building and sustainability for the artists who are participating. And when we talk about capacity building, we sort of mean making investments through money, through learning, through strategic choices to help you build a more sustainable platform for your creative work. So this program it pairs a $2,500 grant with a bunch of other opportunities to develop professionally and build a peer network. So the components of the program, there's a combination of self-directed and group professional development. A4A has an ongoing series of workshops on a range of like professional and financial topics for artists that are all free to the general public, but as a participant in this program, you would have sort of priority access to all of those workshops. Grantees also receive one-on-one coaching to support a particular aspect of their practice. There are planning tools that we provide to help you explore what's next in your artistic career. And there are a series of cohort events to bring people in this group together to learn from each other and network through the community. I'm just looking at the list here to make sure. I think I covered all those items.
Perfect. Thank you. So let's talk about the application timeline. This is a 6-month program, as we mentioned earlier, and the deadline to submit the application is on Monday, July 21st at 10 a.m. Decisions notifications will be sent by September 12th. And the selected artists will have, as Brianna mentioned, an onboarding call to discuss the program timeline and the resources available to you during the 6-month period. Again, the application open already is available. It will close on July 21st, and the decisions will be sent by September 12th. I'll pass it to you, Brianna.
Yeah, before I jump into the timeline, I just want to note that with this particular grant, in most cases, the capacity building grant is not regarded as income for tax purposes, which is a really cool feature of this grant. So in most cases, a 1099 will not be issued and the money will not be considered taxable income. And we can discuss that more with you down the road as well. Okay, so as mentioned in the previous slide, this is a 6-month program. And we try to have a touch point with artists in the program each month. So the way we've structured this upcoming program is to have a welcome kickoff event in October where we bring everybody together for like a meal or drinks or initial introductions. In November, there will be a planning workshop that takes place somewhere in the Valley, still TBD. And that is generally an all-day in-person event where people get to really like dig into some goal setting for your artistic practice and work on setting some strategies. I will have an individual check-in call with everybody in the program in January just to see how you're doing with the experience and how we can help you make the most of the rest of your time in the program. In February, we'll get everybody together to share their work with each other in person. And then in late March, we will celebrate everybody's graduation with a field trip to probably Mass Mocha, but also TBD. Just a day to get people together and celebrate and do something really fun. And if folks have any questions about the timeline, you're welcome to ask them now or when we get to the Q&A at the end of this.
Any questions? Are we good? Okay, maybe. Awesome. Let's continue. So who can apply? Eligible applicants must live or have a studio space in Hampden, Hampshire, or Franklin counties. And these funds are intended to support individual artists only. The Community Foundation has other funding opportunities that support nonprofits and fiscally sponsored organizations. An applicant must be an individual artist in any creative discipline. Funding cannot support artists who are recipient of previous ValleyCreates working capital, capacity building, or ValleyCreates project evolution grants. Those are all our individual artist programs here at the foundation. And again, cannot support programming or operations of a 501c3 organization. So your application will be evaluated using the following selection criteria. It is important to have this criteria in mind when filling out that application, as this will help you craft strong answers to better meet the evaluation criteria. So your application will be assessed based on the following: applicant's strength and dedication to their artistic practice. Here is how committed are you to your artistic practice? The narrative questions and the work samples will be evaluated in this criterion, under this criterion. The second one, applicant's clarity on future goals and growth. Here, we will evaluate whether you have identified what's next in your creative career. Do you have clarity and can articulate the direction you are heading or want to head in your creative career? And the third one, applicants' ability to demonstrate how they will benefit from this opportunity. I think this criterion is quite self-explanatory, but I want to emphasize that we have this criterion here because this program offers so much more than just funding. It includes coaching, peer group sessions, and workshops, and we hope that the selected artists take advantage of all aspects of the program. And preference will be given to artists who identify as Black, Indigenous, or a person of color, and artists working in rural and communities areas. Artists that are in the early to mid stages of their career are especially encouraged to apply. And as I mentioned, the application is available in our grant system. And here is a short summary of what you will need to fill out and submit. Your personal information, then 3 narrative questions, and you will be required to upload 3 work samples. I want to leave that in the narrative section. We do not necessarily ask you to write an extensive answer. You can write it either in a narrative or bullet points format. You will also see that there is a max of characters allowed in each question. And I want to emphasize that you may use as many characters as you like, but using all of them is not necessary. For the work samples, 3 work samples of your creative work are required. And we highly recommend including a description of the work submitted and any other technical details below each submission. If you choose to submit a video or audio file, for those dancers, theater makers, applicants must include either 1 longer work samples that demonstrates at least 15 minutes of work, or 2 to 3 shorter work samples. We'll share the link to our grant system to the chat. Here's the link to the grant system. I will pause for a second here to see if we have any questions. Okay, so I think we can switch to the system. So let's talk about how to create an account. When you go to our grant system, if you do not have an account already, an existing account, go ahead and create your account. Here, please read, everything that is in here, because our system was built to do grant rounds for 501c3 and nonprofit organizations. So we need to trick a little bit the system for individual artists to apply. So as you see here under the organization's name, you will see that it says, or your name if applying as an artist to ValleyCreates. So just put your name there. And then I want you to point you to this section here where it says, please choose to respond the best, describe your organization. When you click, you'll see a drop down and you will select the last one, an artist applying to ValleyCreates, and enter 99-99979 after that dash. That's what you are going to enter under EIN and tax ID. You'll enter 99 and 79 after that. Okay, and then you fill out everything and you should be able to access the account. I will not create an account because I have one already. So we will go to the application after that. Okay, so this is the landing page, the home page. We have, I believe, 2 more grant opportunities available in our system. You need to scroll down a little bit. This one looks a little different, but when you enter, you will see racial equity and social justice. Just scroll down and then hit apply. And then you will have all the instructions. You can check your eligibility. Here, you have the timeline and the application deadline, which is July 21st at 10 a.m. If your address is different from your studio space, you will enter that here. Then your personal information, your discipline, artist website. If you have an artist website, you can include that here, but we do not expect that you have an artist website. If you have a social media platform that you would like to put in here instead of the website, that's also okay. And it's not required if you don't have a website or if you do not want to include a social media, that's also okay. Artist demographic, and then the second big section is the application and narrative questions. Here under grant name, please fill it out with Capacity Building Grant 2025. Some of the questions, the first one is artistic practice. Please tell us about your current artistic practice and your work, what you create and why. The second question is what's next? What's next in your artistic creative journey? Have you identified potential areas for growth or direction you wish to pursue? Then we ask about support needed. And the last narrative question will be timing of opportunity. Why is now the right time for you to engage in this program? And how will one or two of the supports you selected help expand and deepen your work? And then the work samples. Here in this section, depending on the type of files that you will upload, you will need to select here. If you're only submitting video or audio links, click video audio links only, and you will see that you will have spaces to copy paste your links. Okay. If you are submitting PDFs or images, just go for this one, and you have 3 spaces to submit and upload work. But if you have a combination of links and images and PDFs, documents, just go for the last one. And I believe you have 2 spaces to upload pictures or documents, and then 2 more spaces to include links. And lastly, the closing comments. And then you'll submit your application, but you can also save the application if you're working on your narrative or your answers, and then you can come back and then submit the application. I recommend to be saving the application while you fill out all those questions, so you do not lose all the work that you're doing, or have a Word document by your side. Okay,